Hello everyone, I'm Duke James. This is Vietnam 3.0. Alright, our corruption is 65, dropping by 2.39 per year. Nobility's loyalty is at 77%. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Abolish seigneurial courts. So that'll reduce noble gravity by 1%. Base hierarchy by 0.25. It'll reduce local autonomy from noble power by 10%. So that'll reduce autonomy, which is my current 10-year plan. Although I'm not doing this specifically for that. That is a benefit that is topical to our plan. Negative 5% local corruption from noble power, plus 0.25 base welfare, and plus 4 welfare for 50 noble loyalty and negative 40 relations between the aristocrats and the state. So that hurts. Drops them down to 27%, but these I can do these supports. Disown an unpopular relative for 7.5 loyalty. Yield concessions for 10 loyalty. Holding grand celebrations costs 307 ducats, so I'll go ahead and do that. Gets them to 50. And I could do one of these, but I don't want them to get more power. So I think I'll hold it at that for now. They're at 50%. It's not bad. And then I can go ahead and do reform once I get my stability to 1. I'm going to do this bureaucratized urban governance. That'll help get commercialization. Let's see. That will do... Right now it's unsupported, so... Urban governance. This gives negative 15% urban production, negative 15% commerce production, and negative 2 base consultation. Getting this will give plus 10% urban production, 10% commerce production, 2 base consultation. So to get rid of that negative base consultation and increase commerce production, urban production. And it also gives that top one, which I don't really know what that does, and the negative 25% burgers power from wealth. So that will help out immensely once I get that to... And the burgers actually like that, interestingly. There's a problem down here with Ayutatha's rebels. They cannot control their rebels. Actually make 5 ducats. I thought my, because of the corruption, my income would drop a lot, but it's actually... Because property, we make 410 ducats from property. So what I'm going to do is get 1 stability by providing temporary tax relief. And that doesn't... I'm not making that money because of... taxes from the peasants, because they're still on that as if I was still providing temporary tax relief. It hasn't updated yet. So if I didn't do this right there, I would make even more money than that. But I'm going to do that because I want to do this. The burghers are pleased, nobility indifferent, everybody else is indifferent. Don't even lose stability. 10 burgher loyalty, 1 consultation, 20 relations between the metropolitans and the states. So I'll go ahead and leverage them for anti-competitive practices. Only 5 merchant trade power. But that's alright. So now the effect is negative 5% urban production and negative 5% commerce production, negative 25% burgers power from wealth. So urban production should increase now. Actually wait for the yearly tick. Probably won't update on the yearly tick, but I'll wait for it anyway and see. Probably shouldn't take tech when my corruption is 65. Speaking of which, apparently there is no... There's no limit to how often you can do these reforms with the state. There's no... Which I imagine will be changed. There's no time modifier that keeps you from doing them. As far as I know, I can't do them right now because I don't have the points for them, although I can do this one. Restrict factional appointment of officials. So that would give negative 50% bureaucratic influence inertia. Which would reduce the current inertia. So our inertia is 50.7-ish. So that would reduce that by half. So essentially the bureaucrats would get more influence. A little bit of stability increase interval reduction, negative 5%, and negative 0.05 state corruption. For the hefty sum of negative 30 relations between the elites and the state, negative 30 relations between the bureaucrats and the state, 5 bureaucracy corruption, 10 corruption, and 1 stability points. It's actually not that bad. The bureaucrats' loyalty is affected by corruption, so if I reduce corruption, that will increase bureaucrat loyalty. If I do this, I think they would drop down to 0. So I'm going to hold off on that, actually. Could do literacy tests. I'll probably do that later. That only gives 2.5% administration efficiency. And I don't think that is a requirement for meritocracy. Entry requirements? Yeah, I don't see it on that spread requirements. So I'll hold off on that. There's one of these that I wanted to do. That's a lot of requirements for that one. That one is required to be... Okay, so... A lot of these I actually have in terms of meritocracy. So for meritocracy, you need sale of office greater than or equal to 2. Mine is 1, so I need that one. Tax farming has to be greater than or equal to 2. My tax farming is 2. Bureaucratic hierarchy reform has to be greater than or equal to 1. Mine is 1 right there. So those first 3, I have everything but the sale of office, which I need 1. Means of recruitment has to be 1, mine is 1. So I have that one. Civil examinations has to be 1, minus 1. Provincial structure has to be greater than or equal to 2. This one is kind of confusing to me because there's provincial administration, but there is no specific provincial structure. So my assumption is provincial structure here means provincial administration over here. In which case I would need to get that to 2, and then sovereign courts has to be 2 as well. So I'm only missing 3. 3 reforms in order to get the provincial spread of meritocracy unlocked. Not that one, so... If I want this one to go up, that would be sovereign courts and justice. That would be this one. And that reduces global autonomy by 0.05, a little bit of base welfare, and provincial corruption reduction. It's actually pretty good. I like that global autonomy reduction. Plus 20 bureaucracy corruption. This requires... So I think I could be able to do this. I would just need the points for it. Only -10 relations between the bureaucrats and the state. Plus 20% bureaucracy corruption, 5 corruption, and a stability point. So that's one of them. I forgot what the other two were. Provincial structure. $50 average autonomy or lower is required for this one, so I cannot do that yet, but my current plan is autonomy, so that's useful. And then I believe the other one was, what was the other one? Sale of office. This top one. Alright. So that's good to know. I could do sale of offices and sovereign law once I get the points. Both of those take out stability. So I could do that in conjunction with getting commercialization. I could do those both at the same time, since those aren't, they're different classes of reforms. So that's good to know. Just have to have the monarch points to get those. Here's corruption. Not corruption. Autonomy. The capital has not been built. I'm gonna actually take the next mill tech, because I don't want to forget to take that, and that's pretty powerful. That sets me back to no mill points, but I can wait for that reform. Building a couple ships. Move these troops back. Actually, they still have some Cambodians that have crossed the border before, so they might do that in the future. I'll just leave those troops down there. Alright, I should have a deficit, right? No, I'm still making money, okay. I would have a deficit if I didn't have war reps from Bengal. However you pronounce their name. No, that's a deficit. That should be a deficit. It's definitely a deficit. Oh yeah, that's a deficit. Their war reps are funky. Those should go down. They must have taken a loan. There we go. There's that deficit. Let's check out this census. Okay, wow. Our natural change of peasants is now 29,000. That's a lot. Looks like the life, comfort, and luxury of the peasants here has increased, which is leading to a much larger natural change now of 3.6 thousand peasants in that province. 3.2 thousand peasants in this province. I know the luxuries in this province was like 27% at one point. Actually, let me go ahead and check. Let me check the life needs of the peasants. That should be... because I haven't done this in a while. Okay, so looks like the life needs have actually decreased somewhat in the south. But they've increased in the north. There's 4,000 people migrating out of my country. And then the resident natural change is now positive 474, with 3,500 people moving into the country. Nobles. Yeah, the burghers are also positive as well. Clergy are positive as well. So everybody in my country all of a sudden is growing now. Okay. Tenant wealth has actually decreased. Maybe what happened is they're spending all of that money that they looted from India. From Bengal. The residents are positive a lot now. Nobles negative, burghers, clergy. Alright, yeah, my next plan is definitely going to be food. And I have 5,000 ducats, so I'm going to throw a lot of money into investment in food. So, lots of irrigation. Maybe lots of irrigation, depending on how quickly some of these buildings build. That harborage is going to take a while. Those are all good, except exotics, which I will focus on in the next one as well as food. Interesting, consumer, industrial goods, military goods, not budged really at all. They're not really making much more. The industry size in this province has increased by like 100, and they're positive 52 now. But it's not, the production is not really moving. Because I thought that it was 59 like 30 years ago, and it's now 65, so it's barely nudged up. Knowledge is now negative as well. I think what I'll do in the next 10-year plan is I'll do both urban and I'll do like a hybrid plan. Food and urban production. Let's get those ships together. Does it say my autonomy has decreased? Okay, my autonomy decreased 0.006. It's probably also harder to decrease autonomy when you're closer to 1. If I was at like 1.7, it would be easier to do that versus 1.2. Oh, Song is now domineering. Yep, they want my territory. Come and get it, Song. I'm going to improve with Ming. So high peasant pop growth, at least for now. Decent resident growth now, actually. Positive. People migrating in. So that should be good. Hopefully now the urban goods start increasing, especially with that plus 10% urban production from that reform. Hopefully I start seeing some reverses with that. Apparently I can actually do this right now. Apparently that didn't count as a it didn't count as a reform. That's weird. That would be a little bit of base indirect tax efficiency, negative 10% mana cost of all state indirect taxes. I think that's 5 years. In order to do this one, enforce right of commerce, which is the next one that I need for commercialization. I need 30 metropolitan influence. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make this guy abdicate because I want those mill points anyway from my heir. So he abdicates. 334 comes to the throne, which is actually 1 additional monarch power compared to the previous guy anyway. And then I'm going to align with the metropolitans. And then that gives them more influence. So I can do right of commerce once I get above 0 stability. Which I'm at 98%. But when I did grain before, it actually didn't cost that much money, like 2 ducats. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again. Did that not give me a... Okay, that didn't give me stability. It was the second level that gave me stability. So I'll just wait a couple months then. And then I'll take metropolitan advisors. And they're all half price. And this guy's also missionary strength, so 37 in that province. 90% culture conversion there. 86% there. 77%. I'm gonna get rid of this, centralize this state for now, and take enforce religious law, which will give +3 missionary strength. And that'll make these go pretty quickly, so I should be able to convert all of these then. Probably down to 37, so that's like half, more than half the country right there. My religious unity right now is 45%. Here's the map mode. Yeah, I've not converted a single province, so I'll get started on that now. Yep, close to doing this. There we go. Alright, enforce right of commerce. The nobility are upset. The burghers love me. +6 to relations. I have nothing really to spend that on. Because I don't want to reduce their power. I guess I could take their property from them. I could take, obviously either industrial or commercial property. Yeah, they have 6% land, 50% of the commerce, 14% of the industry. If I take commerce and commerce goes negative, it's going to be pretty bad for me. But they don't control a whole lot of industrial property. The residents, interestingly, control a lot of that. It's also negative in some places. I think it's negative pretty much everywhere except this province. I'll risk commerce property, take 50%. Give me that. And then might as well, I guess, take special tolls. I don't think they're paying me any tax, so this isn't really going to... Yeah, it's not going to do anything, but it will cost 10 relations between them and a little bit of stability increase interval plus some monarch points. So I'll just do this, secure the naval supply, sure. The nobles decrease. I'm gonna have to live with sub 50 noble loyalty for a little bit. But in terms of commercialization, to invent it, commerce rate has to be 8, that is now 7. Urban governance rate cannot be 3, it is 2. Legalism has to be present, which it is. Trade value has to be greater than or equal to 5. It is in that province, barely. But it's down here, 23. Peasant subsistence has to be less than 60, which it is in both nodes areas. Burger power has to be greater than 40. I believe it is in the south. It's 41% here, so yes, but that is decreasing up there, actually. And it is 72% there, so if I'm going to get commercialization, it's going to be in this province down here. Because the provincial invention progress is trade value -5 divided by 5. So it's gonna go very slowly in my capital. I suppose the good news is the autonomy in this province is 55%. Hopefully that spreads relatively quickly. I'm feeling it's probably going to go really slow. We'll see. I'll get all the requirements. Tuck it to missionary maintenance. Let's have these guys drill. That's going to increase corruption. Well, slow down the decrease in corruption, I should say, because that's not really going to increase corruption when you have this amount of corruption. Right, it's actually 1468, so that is technically the end of our autonomy 10-year plan. This important center of production in the capital decreased. So let's see. This harbor is still being built here. The capital is still being built there. It looks like they didn't even decrease at all. I believe it built a harbor there, so that actually built. This is still building a... It's still building amenities. Oh yeah, I never actually built pathing there because it was still building amenities. And that is still building pathing and a harborage. But this is still building pathing as well. So the first stuff that I did hit. The second stuff that I spent all that money on from the generous donations from Bengal, those are still building. So our autonomy is 1.23. So it actually increased. Probably has to do with the power of the estates. So that increased instead of decreasing. Interesting. Well, yeah. Yeah, because they're one of these provinces down here. Yeah, that is increasing 0.275. Mahayana, legitimacy, aristocratic. Yeah, that's due to the elites. So the elites are causing that. I think it has to do with the loyalty of the nobility. But that is the end of that plan. I'm building some more stuff, so that should help. But the next plan will focus on food. So I'm going to end this part here and then pick it up in that part. Do a whole bunch of investing. I have 4,900 ducats. I'm going to build some irrigation and do some investment as well into farming. So thank you for watching, and I will see you then. Goodbye.